good night, everyone. Tonight, God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Summer Jess Pizza. I'm going to give you a little short news on the debt. I just want to talk on the debt ceiling. To build to raise the debt ceiling limit in a vote default. And that's what they did. They went around, they had a good agreement and it kept from prevent everything to be in default. So to raise the debt ceiling limit until 2025. you know, um, his deal with Mr. President, over the weekend, they came up with an agreement. So the threat of default was off the table. He kept on saying, no, we're not going to go in default. So Mr. President Bennett said in a brief statement about Bipartisan agreement, which will still need approval, from both chambers of the Congress. So Mr. Bennett expressed the relief that ceiling will not be in play for a budget um, negotiation between Democrat and the Republic for 2 years. So Mr. President Bennett, he strongly urged both chambers to pass the agreement, he said, and let's keep it moving. He said, let's move forward. So the bipartisan budget agreement prevent our first ever default. So they had to come up with an agreement so they won't go into default. So Mr. President Bennett protect the key priority and accomplishment. So he kept saying these things that he wanted to protect, in his debt ceiling. So he rejected extremely cuts, to these programs here, the veterans, citizen and family cut on. Because see, the veterans, they go out there and fight for us. And a lot of them coming home homeless. So we need program for the veterans. And so he also protects Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, and Medicaid. You know, because that's the only income the citizen have is Social Security. Without their Social Security, they won't be able to pay their rent or their bills from no other income. So keep Mr. President Bennett's student loan relief program for 40 million hand-working warriors. Now he for helping his America. He was trying to help the students with their student loan. So they reached a bipartisan budget agreement that will prevent the worst possible crisis. A default for the first time in our nation history. This is the first time we got this close. That we had to deal with that. So they know this deal is good. Good news for the American people. That he strongly urged the Congress to pass the agreement. Soon. So now we just waiting on the Congress to pass this bill. That's it. So I hope we don't have to experience this close a default. No more. So I hope I hope they have the treasury to take care of the budget every time that they spend money, because it was a close call. It's a close call. I'm glad they came up with an agreement. So everything, to be on the table, and he said what he wanted to say. So we still not out of the water yet. Because we still have to wait on the Congress to see if they're gonna pass this bill. And we're gonna have to go back to square one, and we don't have much time. So that's all I had wanted to talk to you about the debt ceiling. They finally came up with an agreement, and they did it without going into default. But we're still not out of the woods yet. We still need Congress to pass this bill. And Mr. President Bennett, he worked so hard to try to save what he wanted to save in his debt ceiling. The veterans, Social Security and Medicaid. He pretty much wanted to save that. And everything else follow behind. So that's all I have for you tonight. Y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see y'all on the next video.